This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big update to share with you. The economist who predicted the 2008 crash is predicting a severe recession coming up. I'll play the video clip of what he says. And if a recession does come, stimulus checks are most likely going to happen, according to a different economist. I'll let you know the latest in stimulus checks and the new $500 stimulus check just approved. When it comes to Democrats pushing out their reconciliation bill, looks like the drug pricing bill is in it, but Bernie Sanders calls it weak, saying it is not good enough. I'll give you more details on that. When it comes to the 2024 presidential election, looks like Democrats don't want Biden to run again, and Republicans don't want Trump to run again. I'll give you the details there, and I'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers, and I'm announcing the winners tomorrow, so you have today to sign up. Details down in the description below. So when it comes to that 2024 Trump versus Biden rematch, looks like it may not happen. According to a CNN poll, 75% of Democratic voters want someone other than Biden in 2024. So a lot of them are looking at people like Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg for the Democrats. And when it comes for the Republicans, Trump says Fox and Friends has gone to the dark side after the show host mentioned polls showing Ron DeSantis beating him in 2024. So basically what happened here is on the show Fox and Friends, Ducey, one of the hosts, he read two polls that said in the poll that Ron DeSantis was beating former President Trump. And they were accurate polls from legitimate sources, but former President Trump didn't take it too kindly and reacted saying a lot of bad things. It used to be his favorite show, but then he said they quickly quote the big turning point victory of almost 60 points over the number 2 Republican, and then hammer me with outliers. Actually, almost all polls have me leading all Republicans by a lot. He also said that is a little different than a couple of other polls. We've seen others in the past couple of weeks. So it's like the young people who are so basically it kind of goes on, basically going on. He wasn't too happy about that. So do you think former President Trump should run again in 2024, or should a different Republican? Do you think former President or current President Biden should run again, or should someone else? It looks like I'm thinking probably Ron DeSantis versus Gavin Newsom. Florida versus California. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts on that. Just a prediction of how things are going. When it comes to Bernie Sanders, not running for president, but Bernie Sanders says Democrats' prescription drug reform bill is weak. So for a while, we've heard that the reconciliation bill, which was supposed to have a bunch of stimulus provisions in it, $3.5 trillion, whittled down by Joe Manchin, now only has a drug reform bill. It's basically reduced to drug reform. And Bernie Sanders, a big proponent of the drug bill, now he's saying it is not a good idea. So what is Bernie Sanders saying about this? So he said yesterday that the prescription drug reform proposal that Democrats plan to move under special budget reconciliation rules is weak, noting it covers a limited number of drugs and doesn't substantially take effect until 2026. Sanders is the latest member of the Senate Democratic Conference to voice disappointment with the long-awaited budget reconciliation bill, which will not include provisions to tackle climate change or priorities such as funding for access to childcare and universal pre-kindergarten. The package, however, does include a $2,000 out-of-pocket cap on prescription drug costs and would extend expiring health insurance premium subsidies under the Affordable Care Act by at least 2 years. So I guess the weird thing here is that it's only for certain drugs. Why wouldn't it just be all drugs? I think it's sort of an interesting bill here, but take a look at the Republican perspective of why they're against this. And I want to give you some information that this senator may be paid off. Take a look at this.
I guess there will be some kind of reconciliation bill, and in that bill, drug price controls and more Obamacare subsidies and Lord knows what. What do you think?
Yeah, so that's the way it looks. It looks like that could be on the floor as early as next week. And it looks like those are the two big elements, right? The Democrats kept expanding subsidies for middle and even upper income people to buy Obamacare, which is ridiculous. But those subsidies are going to expire by the design of the Democrats' own bills, and so they desperately want to extend it so that people don't lose that subsidy going into an election. And the way they've decided to pay for all this is to impose price controls on the most arguably innovative and such an important industry that we dominate.
These are the companies, by the way, who develop vaccines in 6 months.
Totally.
Operation Warp Speed.
No other country in the world
could have done that.
To do this. Nobody could have done it.
Cutting red tape, working with them. If they make a buck, we let them make a buck. 6 months, what people thought could take 5 to 10 years. And so they're going to be punished. If I get this right?
What are your thoughts on that? I found that conversation very interesting of how you could justify the pharmaceutical industries making billions, charging exorbitant amounts of money for these life-saving drugs that people need in order to live and could barely afford. It's kind of a tough argument. You would think that everybody across the board would say, yeah, make drugs cheaper for people because they need it, because insulin in America is 7 times the price it is in Canada. You know, it's weird like that. But that Senator, Pat Toomey, I just did a quick Google search. I'm sure I could dig in a little deeper, but the Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla, contributed $2,700 to his Senator Pat Toomey, who just spoke, to his campaign committee. And then also, just another quick Google search here, I found that Pat Toomey, oh, I lost the spot, but Pat Toomey did receive, so this is actually a site that shows all the money that all the senators and representatives, Congress members, have received. So according to this, yes, Senator Pat Toomey received $2,000. Not sure which pharmaceutical company this came from, but so basically he's receiving money from the pharmaceutical companies. If someone's paying you money, you're not really going to bash them. I guess, I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that, but let me know your thoughts on that. And then when it comes to stimulus checks, so stimulus checks likely in the next recession, says one expert, though right now would be a terrible time. So with a recession around the corner, are we going to get a recession? And or are we going to have a recession? If we do, are we going to get stimulus checks? Well, we're seeing a lot of different states offer stimulus checks. The 18 states sending out stimulus checks probably won't make inflation worse, but they're not the best solution to help people cope, economists say. So basically, red and blue states alike are sending out new stimulus checks to offset the pain of high inflation. The checks probably won't worsen inflation, but they aren't a long-lasting solution, and fixing supply chains, boosting wages, and improving production are more effective measures. So what it's saying here, basically 18 states, that's almost half of the country, are sending out tax rebates in recent months aimed at providing households much needed cash relief. The funds, Governor argue, help offset the impact of soaring prices throughout the economy. Inflation in the U.S. is at a 41 high. So some are saying that the stimulus is the reason for inflation, but then they're also saying inflation is happening on a global scale at a lot of other countries as well, and they didn't use as much stimulus as America did. So basically, that's basically what this article is talking about, that it probably won't make inflation worse, but you gotta have some better solutions than just stimulus checks. There needs to be more longer, enduring, sustaining economic problems or solutions. But yeah, basically that's what it's saying there. And then when it comes to other stimulus checks just approved, so $500 one-time check payments to be sent in just months to Virginia families in need. So this is going on in Virginia. The state of Virginia will give nearly anyone who had a tax liability in 2021 a tax rebate if they apply, up to $250 given to individual filers and $500 to those who file jointly. So anyone who files early can receive their rebates as soon as October. So if you live in Virginia, you have to apply for the stimulus check, as with most of these stimulus checks, which is the reason why I want to share these state stimulus checks with you. It's because if you're eligible, it's not like it's just going to be sent to you like the federal stimulus checks. You have to apply for it. So when it comes to recession relief checks, potentially, are we going to get it? The Fed could surprise markets by sounding even more aggressive as the economy teeters. Take a look at this video clip right here talking about whether we are going to have a recession coming our way due to the economic conditions? Most everybody's saying yes, except for the Biden administration. Take a look at this right here.
Totally delusional. So are Americans prepared for a severe recession? That sounds like a crap sandwich. And is there anything our bumbling government can do to fight back at this point? Joining me now to discuss the Cato Institute Center for Monetary and Financial Alternatives. He is the director there. Norbert Michel is back. Welcome back, sir.
Hi, Kennedy.
Hi.
How are you?
So Nouriel Roubini, he was the only guy. He was the Cassandra running around in 2008 going, oh, we are headed to hell on the fast track. And now he says the recession is going to be so bad, you're going to be sick of bad recessions. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, yeah, no, don't give him so much credit. He didn't predict the day that it would happen or the day that it would start and exactly how. Lots of people were talking about things that we were doing financially, how they were going to end badly, and lots of people were right about that. So I don't want to give him so much credit. But in terms of being Dr. Doom now, I really don't think there's any reason to do that. There are lots of good signs. Aside from that, the truth is we don't have any good thing to compare to. If you look at what's happened over these last couple of years with the COVID pandemic and the government-imposed shutdowns, the incredible drop in demand and the incredible snap back in spending, along with these really bad supply constraints, there's nothing in the historical record that we can compare this to. And that's a really big problem for trying to forecast a recession or anything else economic, because you need historical data, and we really don't have comparable historic data.
All right, so 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. That has been the historical definition for a recession. And we're going to know in 2 days if we have met that. So even if we did in the second quarter shrink, does that not necessarily mean a recession in your eyes? And what does it mean?
It does not necessarily mean a recession. The truth is there is no standard definition of a recession. It's kind of whatever the NBER says it is. There have been consecutive declines in GDP, quarterly declines in GDP 5 times since 1947. We've had 12 recessions. So it doesn't mean that we have to, and they haven't always preceded the recession either. That's important. The NBER looks at the depth, the duration, and the diffusion of all kinds of economic activity, and there are really many good signs. Industrial production, the index for industrial production, which is an output measure, is actually up above the pre-pandemic level. Job openings are strong, really strong. Lots of companies still looking to hire people. Household balance sheets, very strong. Household debt to GDP, all-time low. So there are lots of reasons, and I'm not naming all of them, but to not be so negative and to recognize, I think that what we're coming out of is absolutely anomalous, and we should be patient and let some of these things go filter out. Government policy-wise, we should be doing anything and everything we can so that people, businesses, business owners can produce and supply as many goods and services as possible.
But doesn't that mean the government doing
prices.
less? Because what they have done, so if you have, the best case scenario, which you are kind of parroting from the administration and from Janet Yellen, it's like, oh no, we've got these things that are really strong. No. And then you've got, $15 trillion in debt that Americans have racked up in housing and credit cards and student loans and everything else. And the fact that 83% of people say that they are feeling the economic pinch and they are spending less. So they're kind of in the middle. And then you have Nouriel Roubini saying the earth will cease to spin because the global recession is going to be so bad. So where are we, and what can the government do about it, short of doing nothing?
I think that's the first time I've ever been accused of parroting Janet Yellen.
I was trying to think of a better word.
Yeah, no.
I was trying to think of a better word than parrot, because I don't think that's necessarily positive. But you guys are putting out the same vibe right now.
No. I mean, there are lots of reasons
like you're both
to
wearing
not be
Tevas
Dr. Doom,
and you're blasting Jack Johnson.
Okay, fair. There are many reasons not to be so doom and gloom, but there are also lots of things that the government can do to step back and get out of the way. Lifting restrictions so that we can produce more energy, more oil, more gas, open up more refineries.
What are your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree? Are we about to head off of a cliff? Let me know your thoughts. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up from this depressing news. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, I didn't see you there. Hi, this is Belle to the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel something, when you feel like in a mood, tell the people that how you feel like in your body.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your time and support. Yesterday we had a little fire pit in the back, roasted some marshmallows, hung out. This was when my wife was working her 24-hour shift, so I try to keep the girls entertained and occupied. I went to the beach as well and ate some cherries, which was a good time. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.